Hello.
There we go.
All right, we're live, son.
Hell yeah, we are live. And I got some new hardware.
Uh-oh.
The NXT
Look how shiny that thing is,
Scorecard
dude.
Champion. And there's also a scuff mark on it. I got it in. There's a little scuff mark right here, as you can look. See if I can get in the light here a little bit.
Oh, that looks
You
good,
can kind of
dude.
see. I mean, it looks good overall, but definitely a little scuff mark here on
No,
it.
I like that.
So, but it looks nice. I mean, it's nice and shiny. I'm going to keep it that way because it's going to stay in my hands as far as I'm concerned.
Oh!
At least through August.
Well, at least you know I'm no competition for you. So.
Well, you know, I mean, you never know. Well, I'm more worried about him. He's
that's right.
He's one over here winning scorecards. So he has a solo title reign. I don't even have a solo title reign for WWE yet. Let me pull up audition here. Start recording.
I don't know. I don't think I could do NXT.
It's all about being a good guesser.
I mean, I could try, but I don't think I could.
Here,
all right.
Get up closer.
Yeah, get close to the mic.
Hello.
Okay, that's my
Wait,
3.
well,
go ahead.
Just get where you're comfortable.
Yeah, get where you're comfortable. You're gonna, so I can put your. Go ahead and say something.
Hello.
You'll have to get a little closer.
Just lean a little bit forward, Elijah.
Hello.
I mean, I guess that'll be good.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, Ryan, give me a mic check on yours.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9.
All right, that should be good. Check mic check. Check a Rooney. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2. I think we're good here. I think we're good on the levels. I'll kind of keep an eye on them.
I know you can't count to 100, Dad, but it's a good try.
Okay, so let me Money in the Bank 18. When I open link in the tab.
Boom.
And then
Because I'm dead.
Schedule. Also, I think there's like a new stipulation in the Cody versus Kenny match. The winner will be the leader of the Bullet Club going forward.
Really?
Yep.
I heard. So this morning, I thought of TNT this morning. I can't get it out of my head. Because I'm dynamite.
Which I think is going to be Kenny. 2 words to that. Tama Tonga. What does that mean?
Tama Tonga. Oh, sorry.
What exactly does that mean, Cruz? I'm not sure.
Timmy
I know
Tonga.
Tama. I guess that's the same person. I don't know.
Is he saying that Tama Tonga is going to win the belt?
All right. Mic check 1 2 one more time. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. One more time, Elijah. Give me some checks here.
1 2 do.
Yeah, just whenever you talk, just get like where you at right now is good. It's perfect.
Hello.
And Ryan, one more time.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check, dog. Mic check, dog. That's what we do.
All right. I think let's see. Tama has been tweeting and hinting at leading Bullet Club. Something happens with him after that match, he thinks.
Wow.
So that'd be interesting to say the least. So with that being said, I think we're ready. Everybody's ready?
Let's go.
To rock and roll. All right. Well, with that being said, once again,
all right.
Ryan, go ahead and you got everything you need. Everybody all that stuff.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, cool deal. Let's rock and roll then.
All right.
Let's go.
And welcome to episode 32 of the Average Marks podcast, broadcasting live at the Collar and Elbow studio. We're also live streaming on YouTube as well, so make sure you subscribe to our channel there. Speaking of Collar and Elbow, you can get 10% off your order if you go to collarandelbowbrand.com and put in the Average Marks at checkout. So Not only do you get 10% off your order, we get a small commission off the order, so it works out for both parties. So get some cool swag over at collarandelbowbrand.com and put in the average marks at checkout.
Absolutely. Well, it's the 32nd edition of the Average Marks, June 24th, 2018. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the drama between the Average Marks and WrestleCast, our buddies over across the pond in the UK over there. They do a podcast, so we're certainly going to talk about that, maybe some things coming up in the near future. Also, of course, our first show after the great weekend WWE had with NXT TakeOver Chicago and Money in the Bank. Also, Elijah is in studio. He's going to talk about, we're going to talk about he lost the title. He was the defending
Correction. It was stolen, okay? It was stolen.
According to Elijah, it was stolen from him. He lost the title, so he's in here to cut a promo on Cruz, who is now the current WWE Scorecard Champion. Of course, I am the new NXT Scorecard Champion.
Yes.
I've always, it's funny, I've always finished last, I think, in all the NXTs, and then I started watching it week to week. The first scorecard I filled out, I mean, it was a runaway. Absolutely. I was a little bit shocked. But you know what? I was telling Brink, and I think I might have told Cruz, I think I told you even, that I felt very comfortable with my scorecard for some reason for NXT. And I mean, it was, talk about, comfortable. It was very comfortable. Definitely a comfortable lead I had. So we'll talk, of course, TakeOver Chicago, Money in the Bank. Also, the G1 special in San Francisco, New Japan, coming to the States in a couple of weeks. The full match card is out for that. We'll talk about that as well. Also, the Ronda Rousey segment on Raw. A lot of people were talking about that segment. It was somewhat unexpected, I guess, and which led to her 30-day suspension. We'll dive into that. Also, a lot of things happened on Raw and SmackDown after Money in the Bank. We'll talk about that as well. Also, some rumor mill stuff. A lot of injuries with WWE, and we're speculating on when some of those guys that are injured are coming back. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, Cheap Heat, the big story this week. Big Cass was somewhat unexpectedly released from WWE, and we'll talk about what led to that as well, and maybe what could happen to Cass as far as his wrestling career going forward.
Right. You can check us out online, AverageMarks.com. That's the main hub. You can check it out wherever you consume podcasts. Most likely we're there, AverageMarks.com. But if you are an iTunes user, please help us out on this, because we want to get into iTunes algorithm and be suggested to other iTunes users. So the best way to do that is, once you consume the podcast, go ahead and give it a rating. Whatever you want to rate it's fine with us, and go ahead and put a comment. That's going to get us in that algorithm and suggest it to other users, so that more people will know about the AMP Nation. So we appreciate that. AverageMarks.com.
All right, let's dive in now to our first topic, which is I guess the beef that we have started. I don't know if we started it or if they started it. With WrestleCast, our buddies across the pond over in the UK have a podcast. Brinkman was a guest on their podcast a couple of weeks ago, previewing Money in the Bank and TakeOver Chicago. I think Brink will actually be back on the show again this week. I talked to him yesterday. He said he will be back on the show. So a little bit of a feud starting here between the Average Marks and WrestleCast across, and you're kind of a little more in the know than I am. I'm somewhat on the outside of this, because I'm not the one that was started the feud. I'm not really, I guess, involved in the feud, because it's all about, a lot about the belt that we have here. Yeah. Cruz is the champion. Cruz has been in the mix a little bit. But Ryan, just kind of give the folks who are, not up to par with what's going on between us and WrestleCast, let them know what's going on.
Right. So we're going to play a little clip of the show where it all started. And it was hilarious, because we have like this little chat pod on Facebook Messenger with the AMP crew. And then, like, out of the blue, Cruz goes, "Shots fired, it's on." And we're like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "I just started listening to WrestleCast, and they're running smack on Brink, and they're coming after my belt." And then so here it is. Here's a little clip from WrestleCast. So there it is, man. Conrad was calling out Brink, saying, "Hey, this dude's yellow. Why isn't he on the show after he took a loss?" Well, of course, Brink's going to make that up this week. Let him know what's up. And Cruz on Twitter said, "You want the title? Come get it." So we're working out the details, obviously, because we're in America and they're in UK. But we're working out the details to get their entire crew on our show for Extreme Rules.
Yeah, of course, the next pay-per-view event for WWE coming up on July the 15th. Another about 3 or 4 weeks away from that. So we're going to work out the details, try and get those guys in. There were discussions, maybe do me, Brink, and Cruz versus their 3 guys, combined
battle.
scores, and just really bragging rights. And we'll, what happens after that, we don't know yet. Maybe we'll, maybe we'll continue the feud. We'll see what happens. There's still a lot of details, as you said, to work out with WrestleCast. So not sure exactly what's going to happen yet, but we're in talks, obviously, to have a little fun with the guys. Go have a little competition, a little friendly competition with those guys over across the pond.
Right. And since they're coming on our turf, it's our rules, which means we're going to be using the scorecards. I don't think they're very well versed in the scorecards.
I don't, because they do.
So you may have overloaded your mouth, Conrad.
Because I think they do straight up predictions, which is cool. It's just do the winners of the podcast, the winners of the matches and stuff like that. But this is a little different. These are the scorecards. Not only do you predict the winners of the matches, you predict some extras in the matches, like how many finishers, maybe if somebody bleeds first. Of course, using a couple of examples from Money in the Bank, the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. A lot of good extras there. Who's going to touch the case first? Who would touch the who's going to get hit by a ladder first? Who climbed the ladder first? The last one to touch without winning. Will there be a cash in? So there's a lot of extra stuff, and that's really where a lot of the points come from with these scorecards and all these match extras. So while the winners of the matches obviously are about 5 points each, and the Money in the Bank ladder match winners were 10 points each, a lot of extra points are in those match extras with how many finishers, etc., and all that stuff. So definitely, a whole new thing. I think that, because I don't even know if they've ever done the scorecards or not.
I don't think so.
I'm not sure. At least they may do them. I don't think they do them as a part of their show. We do it as a part of our show. It's really cool. It's really fun. A lot of the fans here, the AMP Nation, play along with us. So it's really fun. Makes the WWE pay-per-views that much more fun.
Right. Check out PW Scorecards on Twitter and Facebook if you want to play along on the next pay-per-view as well. And Brink will have a video response to WrestleCast later this week, and we're going to post it on all of our social medias.
So we'll keep up with the situation with WrestleCast coming up in the next few weeks. Still, like I said, a few weeks at least away from Extreme Rules, July 15th, coming up here next month. But let's dive now into. Well, you have anything left to say on
what you got, Elijah?
Elijah got something.
All right, you don't need to worry about Cruz. You got to worry about me, okay? I will kick your butt all the way back to the UK. Because I will win it. And I will smoke all you.
Dang.
Okay? It'll be like I cannonball into the water. You'll be flying. So.
And there it is.
Yeah.
Yep. So, guys over in the UK, not only do you have Cruz to worry about, you got to worry about Elijah, because Elijah, if you think about it, is 1 for 1 on scorecards. He predicted that one scorecard and he won it. So Elijah right now is, in a way, undefeated at the scorecards, and I'm sure Elijah's going to be filling out a scorecard for Extreme Rules
most definitely
next month. So looking forward to that. But now let's jump into NXT TakeOver Chicago, which happened just over a week ago. What a show it was. Let me pull up the match card here, give you the results. And if you, for some reason, anybody has not watched it yet, don't want to get it spoiled, you might want to turn it off right now. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong defeated Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, and it was a heck of a tag team match. Dave Meltzer gave that 4.5 stars, so high praise there for that match. Ricochet and the Velveteen Dream. Ricochet won that one via pinfall. That match was good, but everyone was expecting that match to be just so great that, let's put it this way, everyone was expecting that match to be a 10 out of a 10. I think it was about an 8.5 out of a 10. So definitely a good match by any means, but definitely wasn't the spectacular match, like the end-all, be-all match of the year that everyone, I think, was expecting it to be, including myself. I had high praise for the match because those two guys are just tremendous in the ring. But nonetheless, it was a tremendous match. Ricochet got the win. I would not mind watching them wrestle again.
What did Uncle Melty give that one? He
gave that one, I think, 4.25. Yeah, that one 4.25. So that one was, right there, 4.25. But I would have gave it about a 4. I was thinking, like I said, it was a very good match, but it wasn't. Obviously, the expectations were so high for that match that I guess they couldn't really quite live up to it. But like I said, it was a good match. I'm not, hating on it. I'm not putting it down. But like I said, people were expecting a 10 out of a 10. I would say it happened to be about an 8.5 out of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. So yeah, Shayna Baszler, she retained her NXT Women's title against Nikki Cross, where she basically put her to sleep. Aleister Black defeated Lars Sullivan, retained his NXT championship. And then Tommaso Ciampa got one back on Johnny Gargano. So they're tied at 1 in the Chicago Street Fight, a 35-minute match.
Holy
where
cow.
Tommaso Ciampa defeated Johnny Gargano. That match got 4.5 stars as well. So by Uncle Dave's ratings, that match not as good as the NXT TakeOver New Orleans match, which got 5 stars. This one only got 4.5, but this was another really good match. Probably the match of the night, in my opinion. Those two dudes just, I mean, we already know it's the feud of the year so far in all of pro wrestling. They put on one hell of a match. Looking forward to seeing where the NXT picture goes. I think I've heard some people on Twitter talking about maybe Tommaso Ciampa might be next in line for an NXT title shot. Johnny Gargano, of course, already got his title shot back in January at NXT Philadelphia, which is one of the matches of the year so far. That match did get 5 stars. So Tommaso Ciampa could be in line now for an NXT title shot after his win against Gargano. I thought maybe Ricochet would be, in the title picture. Might be a little bit early for Ricochet. He's still, he's tremendous. Don't get me wrong. He's had 2 great NXT TakeOver matches with a Velveteen Dream, and then he looked tremendous in that NXT North American title ladder match back at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. So certainly Ricochet will be in the title picture, just not yet, I don't think.
Well, let's do a good old-fashioned 4-way dance.
Yeah, I know. Lately, they've been doing the one-on-ones for the NXT title. Let's, switch it up a little bit. Let's get maybe a triple threat going. Some people talked about maybe having Gargano in this triple threat match, having Ciampa, Gargano, and Black for the NXT title. That would be
and you can add in Ricochet if you want to go for it.
You can add in Ricochet, a fatal 4-way for the NXT title at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Holy cow, that would be amazing.
Lights out.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. So a lot of things, still to be determined because you have, well, let's face it, you got about 2 weeks to, oh, not 2 weeks, sorry, 2 months to really build this up. So 2 months to build this up. Definitely looking forward to seeing how this plays out going to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. It's almost at the point now where NXT is so good to me, in my opinion, that I almost wish they had an NXT TakeOver every month.
Right.
Well, along with, like the Extreme Rules, you have NXT TakeOver where I forgot where the Extreme Rules was going to be. Maybe in Pittsburgh. I'm not sure where it's going to be. But, have an NXT TakeOver Pittsburgh the night before and have one every month. But, like I said, I don't run the show there. Triple H doing a fantastic job running things down.
As good as it's been, that would bring a lot of traffic to the network.
It really would, absolutely. So that's what happened over at NXT TakeOver Chicago. This week on NXT, this coming Wednesday, should be a lot, maybe starting to move things in the next direction. I know there's been a lot of, I think they already taped a lot of the next few NXTs, and I think there's a lot of title changes. I don't know what they are, but I hear there's major title changes at some of these NXT tapings. I'm not going to spoil it because I can't, because I don't know. I'm waiting to watch NXT this coming Wednesday and the following weeks to see what happens. So NXT, certainly a growing brand. You know what would be cool, though? I want to go back and watch some of those old NXT TakeOver shows. Yeah. Like from 2015, 2016, where they had, Sasha Banks and Charlotte, Sasha Banks and Bayley, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe. All those guys put on some tremendous matches back in NXT. It'd be cool to go back and watch all those guys.
I think it was the first Brooklyn when Sasha Banks and Bayley fought.
Yes, it was. I think it was.
And it made Seth Rollins cry. It was so good.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen that match. I need to go back and watch it because even the women back then, putting on tremendous matches in NXT. So let's jump over now to Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank, a lot of people were not really excited about Money in the Bank, but
leading up to it, it didn't look like it was going to be that good.
No, because they had such a terrible backlash show that they received a terrible backlash from the fans. You know what I'm saying? So, but I tell you what, Money in the Bank, it was actually really good. I give it that. Let's go over the results here. The pre-show, Harper and Rowan defeated Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Daniel Bryan defeated Big Cass via submission, which was actually a solid match. I'll tell you that. Bobby Lashley defeated Sami Zayn, who will now be out for the remainder of 2018, by the way. He had surgery on, I think, 2 torn rotator cuffs.
Dang.
So Sami Zayn will be out for the remainder of 2018.
He went double Drew Brees on it.
Why?
So, yeah, Sami Zayn will not be wrestling. He hopes to be back for WrestleMania 35, but time will tell. Seth Rollins defeated Elias for the Intercontinental Championship. Alexa Bliss won Money in the Bank, and she would later cash in on Nia Jax after Ronda Rousey won by disqualification over Nia Jax after Alexa Bliss interfered and hit Ronda with the briefcase. Roman Reigns defeated Jinder Mahal. Carmella retained against Asuka with the help of one James Ellsworth. AJ Styles defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in what was the last 10, 15 minutes of that last man standing match were absolutely phenomenal in the the words of AJ Styles. Absolutely phenomenal match. I think that match got 4 stars from Dave Meltzer. So that was a very good match. It was, we've been talking about that rivalry, that feud, and how subpar it's been. But I tell you what, that match, it made up for it, in my opinion. It was a really good match. I think Nakamura was supposed to maybe win that match because somebody was talking about how the next day AJ was announced as the cover superstar of WWE 2K19. And in that video, in the video that they made or somebody made, he didn't have the WWE title belt. So somebody was wondering if Shinsuke was supposed to win it because they didn't show that video until the Monday Night Raw, of course, after Money in the Bank. But then I think somebody said maybe they changed their mind because, let's have the WWE champion on the cover of 2K19. So I think that might be the reason why AJ, because I think we all picked Nakamura to win it. Yeah. So I think that's why they kept the belt on AJ.
It felt like it was time.
Yeah. Then Alexa Bliss, of course, defeated Nia Jax for the Raw Women's title. And Braun Strowman is now Mr. Monster in the Bank. Get ready to have that phrase worn out. So, Braun Strowman now with the title basically is calling out Brock Lesnar already. He said, next time you show up, I'm cashing this bad boy in. So that tells me right there, the next time we may not see Lesnar will be SummerSlam. That might be the next time we see him, because if he shows up on a Monday Night Raw, Braun's going to want to cash in something. Now he may show up on a Monday Night Raw, but I mean, Braun's going to maybe try and cash in. Something will happen, and who knows what's going to happen. What do you think about Braun winning the Money in the Bank briefcase?
I like it. I mean, obviously, if you think about it, realistically, he's the only person on the roster that can. Oh, we got some stuff going on out there.
No, I saw some people walk by earlier. I don't know who it was, but somebody parked their car back there. Way up this house. See that white car back there? I saw somebody park and then they walked. I don't know if they came in or what, but I see I got my car back there with my bike on
I see your bike on the back of that.
So I want to make sure nobody's messing with it. But it's still there, so we're good, I believe. But anyway, we're talking. Edit that out.
Obviously, he's the only one on the roster, realistically, visually, that you would think would have a chance to defeat one Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, you got Braun. Of course, I think they want to go the Roman Brock route again for SummerSlam, but now it looks like. They already announced at Extreme Rules there's going to be, I think, a fatal 5-way match, or maybe a 6-man. I can't remember if it's 5 or 6. Lashley and Roman are already in it. We have yet to find out who the other people in the match are, but the winner of that match will face Brock at SummerSlam. Bobby Lashley would not be a bad opponent. I tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed Bobby Lashley this past Monday night on Raw. He basically. Kurt Angle came out and said that WWE officials have agreed next time Brock would defend his Universal title. He never said when. As soon as he said that, Roman comes out, says, I'm the uncrowned, undisputed Universal Champion because I beat Brock at the Greatest Royal Rumble. And then Bobby Lashley comes out, basically gets in Roman's face, is like, look, you had your chance. Give somebody else a chance to make, somebody, like me that can beat Brock, like basically said, you can't beat him. You can't get the job done. I can get the job done. So he's telling Kurt, why don't you let somebody face Brock Lesnar that can beat Brock Lesnar, pretty much talking about himself. Yeah. And I liked the exchange between Roman and Lashley. Roman, the Revival came out and, tried to basically make a name for themselves, which honestly, the Revival looked somewhat good and that looked better than they had any business looking against Lashley and Roman, but the Revival looked pretty decent in that match against Lashley and Reigns. And I liked the back and forth between Reigns and Lashley before the match. When Kurt said, you two guys are going to tag team, Roman's like, well, that's fine. Maybe old Bob here can learn something, So they're kind of going at it. And the way the match ended was Roman was getting ready to spear, I think it was maybe Scott Dawson. I can't remember which one it was. And he's standing in the corner, and here comes Lashley, tags himself in.
Uh,
He goes and spears Dawson and pins him for the win right in front of Reigns.
Nice.
So I kind of like how they're setting that up. A Reigns Lashley feud, I think, would be really really interesting, especially if those two guys are fighting to become the number one contender to face Brock Lesnar. Because let's face it, those two are maybe the top guys. You also have Rollins in there too. Rollins could be another guy that we could see go up against Lesnar. I think Rollins will be added to the match. Maybe a Finn Balor, because Finn Balor, never lost the Universal title. So a lot of things can certainly happen. I don't think we won't see Braun Strowman here as the briefcase. So definitely won't see Strowman. I don't know where he's going to go next as far as a feud. Maybe with Owens. It looks like him and Owens might feud here because, of course, he threw Owens off the top of the ladder.
Oh, my goodness.
Money in the Bank. My goodness.
Holy
and now
cow.
Owens is petrified.
I'd imagine so.
He's petrified of Braun Strowman. So they have that going on Monday Night Raw. Let's see.
What do you think would get a bigger pop? You're thinking that Roman and Brock are going to be going against each other at SummerSlam. Brock wins, Strowman cashes in, wins, or Roman wins the title. Everybody's like, God, not this again. And then all of a sudden, Strowman's music hits. He decimates him with the case and takes the title.
I think they'll pop more if he beats Roman. Obviously nobody. A lot of people just don't care for Roman because it's going to be SummerSlam. There will be a lot of hardcore fans at SummerSlam. It's their second biggest event of the year and the biggest event of the summer. But they would cheer more for Roman, I think. They would cheer more if Braun beat Roman because, and you know what, at this point, I think everybody's expecting Braun to cash in at SummerSlam. Like it seems like it's a given. Like it's automatic that he's going to cash in and you never know. If Roman wins, I could see. If Brock wins, he's cashing in, no doubt. If Roman wins, I could see a situation where he doesn't cash in because Roman's going to be there every week, so Braun could cash in whenever he wants.
Right.
So I don't think that if Roman wins, I would not be shocked if we did not see a cash in at SummerSlam. But if Brock wins, no doubt Strowman's coming because I think after SummerSlam, Brock's gone, at least for the time being. And Braun's going to come out, cash it in, win it over Lesnar. I think that's the only way right now we see a cash in at SummerSlam if Brock beats Reigns again.
Yeah. What you got, Elijah?
So I was thinking, you know how in was it WrestleMania when Brock punched Strowman?
No, I don't think he punched. No, they didn't have an altercation at WrestleMania.
I thought. You sure? I thought
You think about Roman maybe? Brock and Roman fought at WrestleMania.
No, when
Oh, that was back in maybe the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. That why not put him in how you did MMA?
Mm-hmm.
So why not have him in a boxing match where they can try to where they could punch each other.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing is WWE doesn't do that, and Strowman probably isn't. I mean, Strowman's a big dude. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want to fight Strowman, but if it came down to a MMA/boxing match, I mean, I think Lesnar would.
Oh yeah, he would decimate everybody.
The only person he wouldn't decimate would be Bobby Lashley because Bobby Lashley has a good MMA record right now.
Yeah, no, Strowman doesn't want another round of that two-piece.
No, he does not. Absolutely not. But as far as a wrestling match goes, that's the thing. Like the last time Strowman and Lesnar were in a match together, it just wasn't. To me, it wasn't that good. But Strowman deserves the strap. That's why I think he'll come out. And the only way he'll come out and cash in is if Brock wins. If Roman wins, Roman's going to be there every week. So Strowman can cash in whenever he pleases.
Yeah.
And, I mean, can you think about it? Like, if Reigns has the title every week, Braun's going to just be creeping and stalking him and stuff like that. So, which is weird now because lately Strowman and Reigns seem to have become somewhat of pals. They've actually teamed up a couple of times. And, I mean, these two dudes a year ago were trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
So, certainly how things have turned for those two guys, but
like the sands of an hourglass.
Yeah, the only way I think that happens at SummerSlam is if Brock beats Roman. Strowman will come out, cash in, and Strowman will be the Universal Champion going forward. And I tell you what, I would not be surprised if he held that belt all the way to WrestleMania,
right?
Because he's that good. So that's what happened at Money in the Bank. Strowman won. Alexa Bliss won the women's Money in the Bank. She already cashed in. She is the new Raw Women's Champion. And Ronda, a lot of people were talking about Ronda. how good Ronda, because a lot of people were questioning, Ronda first singles televised match for the women's title against Nia Jax, who has been hit and miss sometimes in the ring. A lot of people were worried, but I tell you what, that was a great match. Ronda showed up. They had some great spots. It was a great match. I am really looking forward to any time Ronda steps in the ring now, because, of course, it's not going to be for 30 days apparently, but the next time Ronda steps in the ring, whether it's a title match, a singles match, a lot of eyes are going to be on Ronda because she's had 2 matches. Both matches were awesome. I mean, you can't ask for anything better right now from Ronda. I also saw a thing about Ronda. Apparently, before their match at WrestleMania, they were training one day. Ronda was sick. Ronda had food poisoning or something. I can't remember what she had, but she refused to stop training. Like, Triple H had to stop the training because, Ronda just kept going and going. And, I guess Triple H obviously didn't want her to, halfway kill herself. Yeah. But that just right there shows you the determination that Ronda has to be great in the ring. Mad props to Ronda. A lot of people, there's so many people I've been reading on Reddit, so many people who are questioning how good Ronda was going to be in the ring. Nobody's questioning that anymore. Ronda is going to be a star in WWE. She's going to be a champion. She's going to be a champion a lot of times. She's going to be champion for a long time. So for those of you who don't want to see Ronda as champion, you're going to have to get used to it. It may not happen in the next few months. It may not happen within the next year. It will happen at some point. Ronda's going to be champion. She's going to be champion for a long time, and she will be champion multiple times because she is that good in the ring. And there's so many other women that are going to be good in the ring with her that I can't wait. Right now, of course, the rumored main event for WrestleMania 35 is going to be Charlotte and Ronda. And with the way Charlotte is, we know how good Charlotte is. And with the way Ronda's been wrestling, holy cow, can you imagine that match? That match will certainly be worthy of, because you have the daughter of Ric Flair versus the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. I mean, in my opinion, it won't get much better than that. As far as women's wrestling, it won't get much better than that when that time comes. Right. And by then, Ronda's going to be even twice as good as she is now. And she's already putting on great matches. So I'm just really excited for what Ronda's going to bring to the table in the women's division.
Can you imagine booking that match? I mean, like, who in the heck do you put over? That's such a hard decision.
I think since Charlotte went over on Asuka last year, you got to put Ronda over.
Yeah.
Because I think Ronda's going to go undefeated until WrestleMania. Ronda's not going to lose a match. She won't get pinned at least.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to that match. I think since Charlotte ended Asuka's streak at WrestleMania, Ronda will definitely get over on Charlotte. As of right now, it could my thoughts could change. I reserve the right to change that thought because there's a lot of time between now and then. A lot of things can happen. For all we know, I mean, fingers crossed, knock on wood, hope it doesn't happen. Ronda and or Charlotte could get injured, and we may not even have that match. So, because injuries do happen, of course, a lot of injuries going on. We'll talk about those in the rumor mill coming up. So you never know what's going to happen, but she had a great showing at Money in the Bank. Very impressed with Ronda. Definitely looking forward to what's going to happen there. So that's everything that went down, of course, with Money in the Bank. Great job there. So after Money in the Bank, of course, we tallied up our scorecards.
Yes.
And the new WWE Scorecard Champion is none other than Cruz. I think he's still sitting here in the Discord. And I think Elijah has a little bit of a promo he wants to cut here on Cruz. So, Cruz, I know you're in the Discord listening right now. And as far as I'm concerned, Elijah.
Let me set this up for you, Elijah.
Go ahead and set it up.
All right. So the plan was, Elijah, I'm going to call you before we tape, and you're going to fill out the scorecards. And so I called his phone, went straight to voicemail. Called my daughter's phone, it rang out to voicemail. Then called my dad's phone, and it rang out to a voicemail. And I was like, oh, this is no good. Because we all know how I am at it.
Yeah.
I'm usually in the rear with the gear.
Yeah, pretty good scorecard, though.
Yeah, that's because I was trying for my boy.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I got to win this title, man. But anyways, so Elijah was calling during the show like 7 times to try to get his scorecard in.
Yeah.
But we couldn't. We were already taping. The show must go on, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Cruz, Elijah's got a little something for you.
All right, so this goes out to you, man. While I was off on an AMP tourist stop in Branson, Missouri, you came in and stole my title. So the fact of the matter is, in my eyes, you ain't the champ. You ain't nowhere near being the champ. You can keep cruising with the belt to Extreme Rules, but make no mistake, you will walk with Elijah, and that belt will come back where it belongs, with me.
Oh, snap.
Walk with Elijah. I like that. Walk with Elijah. WWE now stands for Walk with Elijah.
How you like me now, WWE? How you like me now?
That's right. So the former champion here, Elijah, looking to get his belt back at Extreme Rules. Now, all I'm saying is I had a pretty good showing at Money in the Bank. It wasn't for the Sunil Singh, them forgetting to put Sunil Singh on the damn card. I might have won it, but, you know, because I was only 4 points behind Cruz, so I creeped up on him as well. It's going to be very interesting, Extreme Rules, because, you know, it's one of those things, you know, that's like a clean slate every month when we fill out the scorecards. And, you know, I'm still looking for my first solo title. And if I win at Money in the Bank, then I'm going to have 2 belts because
Oh, snap. That's right.
Because I have right here in my hands the NXT Scorecard Championship
Show the
belt.
people on YouTube again.
Don't plan it. Don't plan it.
The scorecard, the NXT Scorecard Champion right here.
So nice and
by
shiny.
a landslide, I might add, by about 31 points.
Dadgum.
So if I so happen to win at Extreme Rules, I will have both belts in my possession, and let's just say they will not go anywhere.
In your dreams.
Well,
in your dreams.
Well, you know what? My dreams are fantastic.
Elijah said both of those belts will look good on his mantle.
Well, that belt's not leaving my arms until at least August.
No, I don't want that belt. I just want my belt. What was stolen? Let me repeat that. Stolen from me.
It was stolen. He said Elijah didn't get a fair chance to fill out a scorecard. So, but he will get a fair chance July 15th when Extreme Rules comes around. So definitely looking forward to that coming up. Let's dive now into, let me pull up the script we have here. Let's go in now to the G1 special in San Francisco. This is going to be fun. It's a Saturday night, July the 7th, G1 special in San Francisco. Let me go down the match card here. I pulled it up, and my MacBook keeps telling me I'm low on space. Yeah, I know. All right, so the first match will be a 10-man tag, 20-minute time limit. Yo, Rocky Romero, Geto, and Yoshihashi will be taking on Chase Owens, Takahashi, Tangaloa, Tamatanga, and King Haku. And then the second match, a tag team match, 20-minute time limit. Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii taking on Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki. Third match, also a tag team match, 20-minute time limit. Kushida and Hiroshi Tanahashi will be taking on Marty Scurll and Hangman Page. That'll be a fun match. The fourth match will be the Never Openweight Championship. Hiroki Goto will be defending his title against Jeff Cobb. Now, Goto must have won that title back from Elgin at one of the shows earlier this week. Cruz, I know you're in the chat. I don't know if you were paying attention to that earlier this week. Did Goto win his title back from Elgin? Because didn't Elgin win it? Elgin won it at Dominion. Because Kazuna Road, that's the name of it. I couldn't think off the top of my head. But I think because Elgin did win it at Dominion, if I remember correctly, Cruz. Is that correct?
I thought he was in a tag match at Dominion.
No, it was Elgin, Goto, and then who's that other guy?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It was a four-way. That's right.
For some reason, I just can't remember off the top of my head right now. Cruz is typing, though. Elgin won it in a three-way with Taichi. Taichi was also in there. So, but then it must, at Kazuna Road, he defended it back against Goto, and Goto won it back. So Goto will defend it now at the G1 special against Jeff Cobb. So that'll be happening that night. The fifth match, a 60-minute time limit match. I think this is the third match these guys will have. The Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, will be defending the IWGP Tag Team Championship against Evil and Sonata. Then the sixth match is a special tag match. Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada will be facing Bushi and Tetsuya Naito. That'll be another fun match. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, another fun match. This looks like it's going to be Takahashi will be taking on Dragon Lee. The U.S. Heavyweight Championship, of course, they'll be on U.S. soil. Jay White will be defending against Juice Robinson, who cut what Brink said, the greatest promo he's ever seen earlier this week. And
That's
then, of course,
broken metacarpal.
Yeah, it's a metacarpal. And main event, IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Kenny Omega will be defending his newly won title against the American Nightmare, Cody, who has a victory already. And Cruz said Juice Robinson only cuts good promos. So there you go. I do I do find in his picture, because they did announce the G1 Climax blocks, and I think I'm actually going to go over that in just a second. They did announce the G1 Climax blocks, and in his picture, he looks like Riff Raff. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
he looks like Riff Raff. He really does. He looks like Riff Raff.
Yeah, I can see that.
So let me try now and pull up.
But I'm pretty sure he can rap better than Riff Raff.
Well, he probably can. He could say Tony I can't even say it. Tony Sashery's better. He calls it Tony Sherrerigans. So let me pull up the blocks here.
How dare he?
One, great job. Kudos. I can never say that.
Well,
I can never say the names you just said. I could try over and over and over, but I would get it wrong every time.
He's getting better.
Well, we put up the full schedule of the G1 Climax on our Facebook page, so be sure to go and check that out. We put that up, I think, earlier this week once they announced it. But here's who are in the blocks right now. You have Block A, Michael Elgin, Evil, Bad Luck Fale, Togi Makabe, Kazuchika Okada, Hangman Page, Minoru Suzuki, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Jay White, and Yoshihashi. Then you have Block B is Hiroki Goto, Kota Ibushi, Tomohiro Ishii, Tetsuya Naito, Kenny Omega, Juice Robinson, Zack Sabre Jr., Sonata, Tama Tonga, and Toru Yano. So it's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. This will be probably the first G1 Climax that I watch in its entirety, because I'm going to watch, I think, every day. It starts July 14th, and we'll go through August the 12th. A lot of people talking about who could win the Tony Sherrerigans, as Tony put it. Sorry, not Tony. As Cruz put it here in the Discord. Cruz, go ahead and type it in real quick while we talk about it. Who is your prediction in the finals, and who's going to beat who in the finals for the G1 Climax? I'm looking at some of these names. I don't think Kenny Omega is going to win it. I think I'm looking. I think Okada's going to win Block A, and I don't know. It's really tough. I'm looking at some of these names in Block B. Maybe Naito wins Block B, or maybe Ibushi. I could see Ibushi. And could you imagine if Ibushi wins Block B? You have the Golden Lovers going at it.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, if Kenny Omega wins, then who in the heck are they going to get to face him?
Well, I think the rule is if Omega wins, if he's the IWGP champion, he gets to choose his opponent.
Even better.
Which I think. I don't know who he would choose. He might choose Okada again. I don't know.
That'd be good.
I think it would be cool to see him choose Ibushi to the Golden Lover gang.
Yeah.
Let's go at it. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. I could see a handful of these guys winning the G1 Climax. All I know is a lot of those matches are going to be fantastic matches starting July 14th.
Are we going to get a breakdown from Brink again this year?
I think we should. Next couple of weeks, we'll have to get him on the and of course, it's going to be going on from July 14th. It's going to start the day before Extreme Rules. So after Extreme Rules, every week we'll have something to talk about as far as the G1 Climax goes, because it's going to be a 4-week extravaganza. That's going to be so much fun. So the G1 special in San Francisco coming up, kind of like the little precursor to the G1 Climax. That'll be July the 7th. And then July 14th, 1 week later, the G1 Climax will start. The full schedule is up at our Facebook page at the Average Marks.
Yep.
So let's dive now into, I saw Cruz typing. I don't know what he was putting in. He might have had something to say about the G1 Climax, or maybe I asked him for his prediction. So I'm hoping maybe he gives us maybe some guys who he think could win.
Yeah.
He says, I don't know, man, but I feel like Omega gets one loss. He loses to whoever wins the Climax. So maybe he loses to Ibushi, his teammate, because, you could write the story that when, the Golden Lovers know each other so well that Ibushi could definitely beat Omega, because back when, Omega was facing Okada those first few times for the title, they never, Kenny never beat him. But when it was a non-title match, he did beat Okada. He didn't win the title. So if it's a non-title match, I could see somebody obviously getting one up on Kenny Omega. Also, the last guy to also beat Kenny Omega the last time they fought each other was Jay White. So Jay White, but Jay White's not in the Climax. So that's just another thing to look forward to between now and Wrestle Kingdom. I think Jay White, especially if he loses to Juice Robinson, which is very likely, Juice Robinson could become the new next U.S. IWGP U.S. Heavyweight Champion, and which would open the door because I think Kenny's going to go on to beat Cody. Next man up, Jay White. Jay White beat him for the U.S. Championship. Jay White's in Block A. Okay, so Jay White's in there, but that means Jay White. Can you imagine if it came down to Jay White and Kenny Omega?
Yeah,
in the G1 Climax, man, that would be one hit. That's a rematch people would love to see. I know Cruz would definitely be up for seeing that. So that means that Jay White won't face Kenny Omega in the prelims, but there is a chance Jay White could face Kenny Omega in the finals. But I don't think Jay White's going to win Block A. I think right now all bets are on Kazuchika Okada to win that belt because, when you have the belt for 720 days, what do you do with the guy after? What? I don't know. It's, it's almost weird seeing him without the IWGP heavyweight title at this point.
You still got to make him look strong.
Yeah, exactly. You got to make him look strong. I think Okada could go one loss, throughout. I don't know who he would lose to. I'm looking at the people here. You have Jay White. Maybe he loses to, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't see Okada losing to any of these guys. Maybe Jay White. I don't know. If you give Jay White a win over Kenny Omega last year, why not give him a win over Okada? Just go around, especially if it's a non-title match. Give him a win there. So it's really fun. I'm really looking forward to the G1 Climax. There's gonna be so many great matches. We could have a lot of match of the year candidates come out of just the G1 Climax. It's going to be unbelievable. And especially the final, the G1 Climax final on August the 14th. Get ready because whoever's in that match, they're going to tear the roof off that place. All the Cruz is excited for all the Block B matches, all the Yano matches. So that's what everybody's excited about, the Yano matches. So definitely looking forward to the G1 Climax. That starts July the 14th going through August the 12th. Let's dive now into our next topic. I got to pull the script back up here. The Ronda Rousey segment. You wanted to talk about the Ronda Rousey segment.
Yeah.
You think maybe it was like a heel turn that she kind of did there?
Yeah, it befuddles me. I don't understand because you've been booking Ronda Rousey as this golly gee whiz, oh gosh, this is so amazing. Oh, you guys are awesome, babyface. And then all of a sudden they pull this. If this isn't a heel turn, I don't know why you even write this in because faces don't do that. Faces one
don't beat up their boss.
Exactly.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He was a tweener, dude. Come on, that's when heels were cool. Heels still kind of are cool.
Because I tweeted it out on Monday. I said Ronda just went full Stone Cold Steve Austin, like beating up referees. And Austin used to do. Austin didn't care. Austin would knock out a referee, and the fans loved it. And the fans loved it because Alexa Bliss right now might be the hottest woman heel in the entire company, and she went out, going after Alexa, and then you go after Kurt, which was, I guess, that's a heel move, I guess, because Kurt's a face. Kurt's not a heel, boss, but it was surprising. It was unpredictable, in my opinion, which is what WWE needs to be in it right now.
The fans made Stone Cold more of a face, but he was always written as a heel. He was always anti-establishment.
When back in 96, 97, when he first came on the scene, he was definitely a heel, cutting heel promos. The Austin 316, I'm pretty sure he was a heel at that point. But then, of course, I think yesterday was the anniversary of the 22-year anniversary of the iconic Austin 316 promo, and still one of the most iconic promos of all time in pro wrestling. Which took Austin to the next level, in my opinion.
Right, but when Ronda came out, she was a true face, 100% face. There's no tweener here. And then all of a sudden you get this where she attacks two people with a weapon, like not to defend herself, just over some words, and then she beats up refs. Faces don't do that. No, so if she comes back as a face again, it was all for naught. What was the reason? That has to be a heel turn.
But I think the reasoning is that, Kurt was trying to, I don't know, I guess Kurt was trying not to let her, basically, Kurt was trying to control her, I think. I think from Ronda's perspective, Kurt was trying to control her. And Ronda, you don't want to control, Ronda does not want to be controlled. Ronda, I think Ronda cut a promos like, nobody, when they had the feud with Stephanie and Triple H, nobody owns me. I do what I want. And, Kurt was trying to basically get her off Alexa, and Ronda's like, hell no. She cost me a title last night. I'm going to beat the hell out of her. And if anybody's going to stop me from beating the hell out of her, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. I don't care if you're Kurt Angle. I don't care if you're a referee. I don't care who you are. So, and that right there kind of, because maybe Ronda had some prior engagements that she has to take care of. That's why they gave her the 30-day suspension so she can go do whatever she has to do. And she'll come back. And eventually, she's going to be back. She's going to be wrestling regularly on Monday Night Raw. I think she's at the point now where I think you could put her in. But the thing is, she's such a draw now, with how good she's doing that.
Don't tell Sami Callihan that.
Well, she's a huge draw. She really is. Like, anytime she's on the screen now, I'm going to watch. Yeah. Because I'm intrigued by what's going to happen next with Ronda Rousey. And because of her name, I think they're so protective of her that she's not, like I said earlier, she's not going to lose between now and WrestleMania. At least she will not get pinned or submitted. She might lose via disqualification or count out, but other than that, she will not lose. Right. So definitely they're protecting Ronda Rousey at all costs because they have some huge plans for Ronda Rousey coming up. That's the biggest woman acquisition they may have ever gotten in WWE.
Now, don't get me wrong. Even though I don't understand it for the life of me, I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I liked it. And I was saying that from day one. That needed to be Ronda Rousey from day one. No nonsense. I will kick your butt in a moment's notice if you cross me because I'm the baddest woman on the face of this planet.
Yep.
And you can't touch me. You can't see me.
That's right.
So, like, I would enjoy this Ronda. I just don't understand the heel turn if you're going to come out and she's this bubbly, darn
Bailey.
She's
a Bailey, being a Bailey. Hugs all around.
Well, that's Bailey's thing. Bailey's a true face. I think Bailey's another one that at one point they should turn her heel. I think now they're obviously they're having a falling out with her and Sasha Banks right now on Monday Night Raw. So they're gonna have. I think maybe at Extreme Rules, I wouldn't be surprised if those two had an Extreme Rules match because remember the last time, I think when Bailey was feuding with Alexa, they had like a kendo stick match or something like that, and the whole storyline was Bailey's not going to hit her with the kendo stick. Yeah. Now I think Bailey has got to the point where she will beat somebody's with a kendo stick. So not sure what's going to happen with that feud. I think they'll have a match one-on-one because they have not had a one-on-one pay-per-view match since coming to the main roster. They've always been friends, and I think they had a match on Raw one night or something like that a while back. And of course they had they faced off in the women's battle royal match at WrestleMania, and which of course Naomi ended up winning. But definitely something's going down with Sasha and Bailey coming up in the near future.
Right.
All right. So this isn't 1950, 1996, whatever, with Stone Cold. I don't know what era I know what era, but I don't know what timeline. But Vince, this is not the Attitude Era. This is the Clean Era. All right, Stone Cold did that. Yeah, that was back then. She is a face. Stone Cold was like you said, a
tweener.
A tweener. That sounds weird when I say it. So still, Stone Cold was a tweener. He was left, right. So she is supposed to be a face, and you don't throw a face into a heel's route until you want to throw her into a heel. And right now, it looks like you're trying to throw her into a heel, but before trying to make her act like Bailey. Well, not really like Bailey, but still, the point is. Pick what you're going to do with her. You're going to make her a heel or you're going to make her a face? Decide.
We're going to take that clip and send it. I'm going to email it to WWE Creative.
Cruz just put something in the chat. This just in from General Manager Page. Tweeted about a minute ago. The U.S. title will be on the line. Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown Live.
Jeff, you better kick his butt.
This Tuesday, United States title match, and we're going to dive in now. Also want to talk a little bit about Dolph Ziggler winning the Intercontinental title match, and then we'll jump into SmackDown from last week. They had a good gauntlet match to determine the number one contender, and then, of course, the news just now that Cruz just broke from General Manager Page that there's going to be a U.S. title match this coming Tuesday on SmackDown. But
hey, Paige, how you doing?
In a bit of a surprise this past Monday night, of course, Seth Rollins brought back the Intercontinental Championship Open Challenge. Dolph Ziggler answered the call I was hoping it'd be Drew McIntyre. I was really hoping for Drew McIntyre. We got Dolph Ziggler instead, and most people are thinking, okay, Seth's gonna win another one. Have a good match with Dolph. Not the case. There was a mild distraction from Drew McIntyre, which basically the roll up of death, I think, is what we call it. From Ziggler won the match, and now Ziggler is walking around with the Intercontinental title belt on Monday Night Raw, and I kind of like that idea because. After WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre shows up, teams with Dolph Ziggler, and you're thinking, oh, wow, this could be the next, big, little faction here or a little tag team
generation
that's going to definitely, run rampant on SmackDown. They haven't really done much with him since then.
Right.
But now, all of a sudden, boom, with the snap of a finger, Dolph Ziggler has the Intercontinental title, and then you have Drew McIntyre behind you. Of course, everyone comparing them to a Shawn Michaels and a Diesel back in the early 90s. So definitely interested to see where they go with Dolph Ziggler. There's going to be a rematch this tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler Intercontinental title match. And so we got some big title matches this coming week on Raw and SmackDown. Raw tomorrow night has the Intercontinental title match rematch, Rollins and Ziggler. And then, of course, Tuesday night, it will be the United States title match, Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And speaking of titles, we have a new #1 contender for the WWE title after the gauntlet match this past Tuesday night. It's Rusev.
Rusev Day, baby.
Happy Rusev Day to all out there, by the way.
Rusev Day.
So you have Rusev now, and all of a sudden, you look at the past week, you have Dolph Ziggler winning the Intercontinental title out of nowhere, and now Rusev is the #1 contender for the WWE title. Maybe, sounds like, they're going in some unpredictable directions here as far as creative goes. So hey,
Xavier Woods was throwing some shade on Twitter.
Oh, really?
He said, I can't believe a guy that throws fish at, and I'm paraphrasing here, a guy that throws fish at his wife and stole our bit with calling stuff days with the Rusev Day. He was like, I can't believe that guy is the guy who gets the title shot.
Well, Rusev has the title shot at Extreme Rules. It's AJ versus Rusev, so that could be a good match. AJ, of course, anytime AJ's in a match, he'll put on a great match. And Rusev, can you imagine if Rusev wins that title?
Yeah.
Are they finally, because they realize how over Rusev is with the whole Rusev Day thing. Yeah. What are the chances they put the title on Rusev now?
And it's like they're trying to appease so many of their boys because so many guys are unhappy right now in the company. It's like it's almost like a plague, man. Rusev was unhappy. There was word about him leaving. Now I saw on the internet the other day, the big news is, I think this came from What Culture, Nakamura, when his contract is up, he may be going back to New Japan.
He might be.
Maybe they're like, holy crap, we got to get a strap on this dude so he'll stay.
Yeah.
And then obviously you had Cody Rhodes a long time ago that said, you know what, guys, I'm out of here. I'm done with this. And then another thing that I heard on I think this came from the Wrestling Observer. This is pretty interesting. They're saying that the reason they gave the strap to Ziggler is because they're going to have a falling out between him and Drew McIntyre, and then they're going to feud for the belt.
I did tweet that earlier. I said the best thing that could happen is the person that will take the title off of Ziggler will be Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is also a former Intercontinental Champion as well. Yeah. So McIntyre has won that title before, so that would be a fun match.
Yeah, dude.
That would be really great. So that's what's been going on with SmackDown and Raw. Two big title matches later on this week. Tomorrow they have the Intercontinental title on the line, which is arguably the biggest title on Raw right now. And then you have the U.S. title, Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura on Tuesday night. So a couple of big title matches to look forward to this coming week. Let's dive now into the rumor mill.
Yes.
You have some injury news on some folks that are injured.
Yeah, this just came out from What Culture Wrestling, and I thought it was pretty interesting because a lot of these are big stars and their timetable for return off of injury. So Tamina, obviously she had torn rotator cuff. They're thinking it's around SummerSlam. She's going to be back in action.
Okay.
Samar Singh.
Yeah.
Which is the one that got hurt?
Samir
Singh. Of course, he had an ACL tear, 8 months recovery time. They're thinking sometime at the end of the year.
Okay.
Right. Bobby Fish. This guy had a doozy, ACL and MCL tear. End of the year, December at the earliest.
Yeah.
Okay. Sin Cara. And this is an unspecified injury, but supposedly he had a nagging injury before and he's taking time off. Nobody really knows what it is or how long it's going to take.
Well, Sin Cara, he was
Luchador.
Well, he was in a. I'm pretty sure it was Sin Cara. It looks like they're trying to set something up with him and Andrade Cien Almas.
Right after their last match, that's when he started taking his time off.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I guess that's when it got worse.
I guess so. Yeah.
So Jason Jordan, of course, he had that bad neck injury. Well, he's already fully recovered.
Yeah, he should be back anytime.
Yeah, anytime now.
I was hoping they would bring him back because you had Ziggler and McIntyre who were kind of beating up on Chad Gable. I said, man, this will be a perfect time to bring Jason Jordan back and, reform American Alpha and see if you because it didn't, when they came to the main roster, it didn't work out for whatever reason. But I think now it may work, especially if you put them up against a Ziggler and a McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine Ziggler and McIntyre versus American Alpha? That would be fun.
Right. And maybe the American Alpha feud is the thing that starts breaking down their relationship. And that's how they start feuding over the belt.
Exactly. Because we never exactly had a Jason Jordan, or maybe he comes back and feuds with Chad Gable. That would be a fun feud too, because those two dudes can wrestle.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Those two dudes can wrestle. They can go.
Yeah.
So that would be fun too. He's expected anytime.
Anytime now.
Anybody else on this list?
Yeah. A few more people. Randy Orton. Of course, he had a torn medial meniscus in his knee, and they said he's been waiting for a while to clean up his knee. So apparently he's been having issues for a while, but they're thinking SummerSlam is the timetable for him. Of course, Charlotte rupturing her thingy.
Yep.
1 month time on that time frame. And then Dean Ambrose.
Yes.
Of course, he had the high grade tricep tendon tear, which means in layman's terms, it was ripped off the bone.
Oh,
his tricep.
Yeah.
Late August, early September.
Late August, early September. So I think he'll be back after SummerSlam.
Oh, that's pretty. That's real.
So I'm ready for the Lunatic Fringe to come back. Everybody, I think, misses Dean Ambrose.
Heck yeah.
For sure. That way we can reform the Shield.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping for. So
and on Total Divas, he had the best footage on there. Chasing dudes down the street, wanting to beat them up for grabbing old girl's hat.
Oh,
that was
Renee?
awesome. Yeah, Renee Young's hat.
Oh no, I wouldn't mess with Dean Ambrose. Because to tell you what, before Dean Ambrose came to WWE, that dude was doing some extreme stuff, like blood, gore. I mean, it was crazy.
It was funny because she was like in front of my family, Dean, because they were outside eating, and he was like, "What? He took your hat. What'd you want me to do? To sit there and let him walk off with your hat?" And then she was like, "Ugh," and like she walked off, and the dad gave him a look like, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about."
Hell yeah,
Yeah. And then later on, he went drinking with her mom.
I would love to drink a beer with
trading
Ambrose,
shots
man.
with her mom.
That would be
funny.
That would be great. So now let's move on to the cheap heat. Certainly some heat on a certain WWE superstar that led to his release this week. Big Cass was released on Tuesday just before SmackDown Live. Apparently, a lot of incidents that were happening with Big Cass. There was talks of him drinking on the European tour. There's also a talk of him doing something on a bus with other WWE superstars where he was in a bathroom on the bus and the lock malfunctioned and he thought he was being pranked and he kicked the door open, and from there on out afterwards, anybody that had to go to the bathroom had to do it with the door open.
I mean, that one's an easy one for me to see because there's a lot of pranks that are being had with the boys. So I can see. I mean, that one has to be excused.
Yeah, but apparently the one thing that ultimately led to his release. Apparently, he had some sort of altercation with Carmella. Of course, they used to date, and he was asking her for forgiveness or something like that. She wasn't having it, and like he grabbed her by the arm or something like that.
Wow.
And apparently, I think like Luke or Eric Rowan and the Usos had to step in and kind of break it up, I guess, in a way. And word got back to management. Vince straight up said, "You're done." Vince went to SmackDown, called him into his office, said, "You're done."
Wow.
So, and they didn't wish him in his, well in his future endeavors or anything. So, Big Cass now gone, which was, a bit of a surprise because they say Vince was huge on this guy, was, big on Big Cass and everything. And
right when you come back from injury, he throws you in with Daniel Bryan, the hottest wrestler in the world.
Exactly. Like,
I mean, come on, dude. And you're going to run that. Now, this is a great life lesson, kids. Take it from Big Cass. There is zero reason ever for you to put your hands on a woman. And that's what it gets you in life.
Yep. Get you fired from the WWE, the biggest wrestling organization in the world. So,
yeah.
Another
thing I heard is that he is a staunch Trump supporter.
Yes.
And he had a bunch of heat with the boys in the back because he was always talking politics. And
yeah, I mean, nowadays with, the president being who he is, A lot of political talk will usually not go so well. So that's why I do not like to talk politics. But certainly Big Cass apparently was doing that. And, you know.
So I'm thinking now, Impact, get on the phone. If you get Enzo and Cass back together as a tag team, holy smokes.
See, here's the thing about that. This is my thoughts on the whole getting Enzo and Cass back together. I think they had a real life falling out. So they're thinking that the chances of those two working together are very slim, but the price would have to be right because apparently
that's what I was fixing to say. Money heals wounds.
Yeah, money does heal wounds. Money heals a lot.
Yeah.
But apparently, Enzo's charging a lot of money just for appearances. You know, can you imagine what he would want to wrestle, even though he's not a great wrestler, but because Enzo's doing his rap thing now, which
you're not going to make it. You're terrible.
I could care less about.
Garbage.
Although I will say his video productions are pretty good.
The video guys.
But his rap, I mean, the way he sounds when he raps. The only problem I have with Enzo rapping is the way he sounds when he raps, and I mean that's half of it's half of it right there. How you sound. So I don't think he sounds good when he raps. He has good beats. He got good music video production, but the way you sound when you rap, I don't care for it. You're better off cutting wrestling promos.
I'm reincarnated.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Better off cutting wrestling promos there, dude, which he was, certainly when he was cutting promos in WWE, I would have put him in the top 5 promo cover for sure.
Yeah. Who cares if he wrote it before?
And the guy was money. That's eventually why he got, I think, a wrestling contract, because I think Triple H had discovered him, and it's like, this dude got a mouth on him. Let me get this guy put him with the 7-footer,
Yeah, he was on 50's YouTube, and I think I put it on our Facebook page, but they were interviewing him.
Yeah.
I can't remember what 50's YouTube page is called. Anyways, this is 50 Cent or something like that, or this is 50. But anyways, yeah, he was like, man, I was a dude on the back of a moving truck.
Yeah.
And he was like, Triple H came in and got me off of the back of that truck. And I was like, dang, that's all right.
So
it was a YouTube video that got him.
Yeah,
somebody that knew Triple H got it to him.
Yeah, well, YouTube nowadays is making stars out of a lot of people. So
yeah,
there you go. Good thing for YouTube.
Justin Bieber.
there you go.
So,
the beef.
Who found him? Was it Neo?
I can't remember who found. I don't know. That was a long time ago. But that's how the frontman for Journey was founded.
Really?
Now the Ornel Pineda.
Yeah, that dude can wail.
Yes, he's almost he almost sounds like Steve Perry. He's not Steve Perry, but he's in a league of his own. That's
you close your eyes, he sounds.
That's how he was. That's how he was found. He was a member of a band called The Zoo, and they would sing Journey songs. And somebody found a YouTube video of him singing some Journey songs. I mean, sounded spectacular. So of course they went over to the Philippines, got him, and now he's the lead man for Journey.
Yeah.
So there you go. But as far as this podcast goes, I think that's all we have.
Yeah, that's it, man. Wrapping it up.
So with any last comments, anything?
Elijah, what you got?
So what I don't get is still going back from a few years out to back to 2015 at TLC when Seth hit both of them with the chair. Why not keep I still can't get why not keep Dean and Roman together and let Seth just go on his merry way.
You gotta have all three of them together, I think.
Instead of just,
otherwise it's not the Shield.
Instead of just letting those two, I don't see why they just broke up completely, because they still could have done the shield bomb with just them two. Really, the only person who they really needed for the shield bomb was Roman. Other than that, the shield bomb was just you getting picked up and dropped.
Yeah.
I'm with you, dude. They should never broke up the shield. We've talked about that plenty of times.
Yeah, I think they always want to get Roman over. Well, if you want to get Roman over, you got to have him with the Shield. If having him do his own thing just is not working, have him with the Shield, he'll be over.
And when Dean comes back, you can't get the Shield back together, because then it would just feel forced again.
Because I mean, if it works with the New Day, why can't it work with the Shield?
Right.
Have them together. You never broke up the New Day.
Yeah.
Why break up the Shield?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on it.
The only thing I got to say in closing is collarandelbowbrand.com. Make sure when you're checking out, they got a really cool Canadian shirt on there. So I'm thinking about buying that and honor of all the great Canadian wrestlers. But use the average marks at checkout. You'll save 10% on your order, as well as we'll get a little commission back as well. So you'll save money. We'll make a little bit of money. So not only we have a cool shirt or a cool hat or a cool hoodie or whatever you get on there, you'll be supporting the show as well. So we thank Al Snow and his team for sponsoring the Average Marks. Check us out, AverageMarks.com.
All right. Well,
walk with Elijah, people.
Yes, walk with Elijah. That is Elijah's lasting comments here on this episode of the Average Marks. I have nothing left. Looking forward this week to Monday Night Raw, the Intercontinental title rematch, and then the U.S. title match with Nakamura and Jeff Hardy on Tuesday night. Also looking forward to NXT this coming week, too. I've been a little more on NXT. I mean, I am the NXT Scorecard Champion here.
Show YouTube that belt one more time.
One more time.
Just in case they missed it.
Here it is right here, the NXT belt, Scorecard Champ right here. I will not lose it at least.
That boy put the turtle wax on it before
my goal is to have this at least through the end of the year, which this title will only be defended, I think, 2 more times this year. NXT TakeOver in Brooklyn, and then NXT TakeOver wherever Survivor Series will be.
Hey,
so
you don't got to worry about me. All right?
I'm
not good with NXT, okay? So that's yours.
Well, right now, I am the master of NXT.
You come for my belt, then we got a problem.
I'm coming for your belt, too. I'm trying to walk around with 2 straps here. That's all I'm saying. So that's all I got to say.
He's trying to come in looking like Austin Aries.
Yep, I'm trying to come
the
in.
Belt collector.
The belt collector, which, you know.
What was his name? We saw him at 225. He had all kind of.
Rodney Mack.
Yeah, Rodney Mack.
Shout out to Louisiana.
Cruz said, whose belt are you talking about? Whose belt?
My belt.
Oh, Elijah said it's his belt, Cruz. So right now it's around the shoulder of Cruz. So
not for long, buddy.
Not for long. So let's
better kiss you goodbye.
Let's see what Cruz has to say here. Some final thoughts as we get ready to wrap it up here on the Average Marks. Just waiting on Cruz's response here on the Discord.
Come on,
that's right. And you can listen live and uncut every
Cruz
week.
said I'm good. So
okay. Yeah, you can listen live and uncut every week on our Discord. And what's cool about that, you get the AMP pre-show where we do just talk about crazy stuff. We've got some bloopers on there. We also have what's the word that I'm looking for?
What you mean?
Stupid, funny stuff.
Uncensored stuff, or
well, yeah, it's
show prep.
It's totally uncensored, but yeah, show prep.
Show prep.
Yeah, you'll be in with us in show prep and everything like that. So it's pretty cool, and you can start that off with only $1 a month.
Just $1.
Helping support the show.
100 cents. That's it.
Yeah, and that's
100 pennies.
And that's not even $1 a week. That's $1 a month.
And Cruz said tomfoolery, which not sure what he's referring to. I guess he means, he thinks it's tomfoolery that Elijah's going to take that belt from him. So.
Or no, I think he was talking about during the pre-show.
Oh, tomfoolery. Okay,
yes.
Yeah. You see, look, you think better than I do. Yeah, it's a bunch of tomfoolery before the show.
Yeah, especially, and I tell you what, it is worth its $1 a month in gold when we get the whole crew in here before pay-per-views.
Absolutely, we
it's
go
crazy.
Go off the rails. It's uncensored. It's certainly not for the kiddos, but we got to get a little bit of content for our older subscribers. So we do that with the uncensored version, the unedited, unfiltered version that we do record as well, that we put on our Patreon.
Yep, that's right. If you miss it, it's always on our Patreon account. All right, Patrick. With that being said, man, it's time to get us out of here, bro.
Outro.
That's a wrap, son.
All right, Cruz. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will
you better
see
watch
you later.
Out. Watch out, buddy. Watch out. I'm coming for you.
Better sleep with one eye open tonight, Cruz.
Yeah. Ain't gonna like what's gonna be.